Hi guys, and in today's video I'm going to show you how I make this super easy everyday look. So I start with the Clinique moisturiser and I put this all over my whole face. I then take my hyaluronic acid and I put this on my eyelids so I have extra dry eyelids. Then taking my Tame and Frame by NYX, I then take this on an angled brush for my eyebrows. I then make sure they're in place and pull a thin line at the bottom of my brow to give me that shape. And I might repeat the process to make sure it's extra dark. I then go above the top and take more of this product and pull it along to give me that really defined brow. I start halfway along because I don't want them to be too blocky at the front. Make sure to fill them all in with that product. When it comes to filling the top, I take from the bottom and pull up. I don't use any excess product because I don't want them to be too full on at the front, and then I blend that into the rest of the brow. I then go ahead and repeat the process on the other side, ensuring I get them as even as possible. Once I've done my brows, I then take my Revolution concealer in shade C6.5. I dab some of this on the back of my hand, and using my flat concealer brush, I then apply it onto the brush on both sides. Once I've done this, I go from the front of my brow and follow the line underneath, making it nice and tidy. I use a dragging motion because it stops it from going so bitty and make sure it's a smooth line. I might repeat this over a couple of times to make sure it's a solid straight line. Once my brows are concealed, I use my Revolution Conceal and Define foundation. I like to be a lot darker, so my shade's definitely darker than my actual skin tone. I apply this all over the face using the brush, and then because I am slightly light, I take some of that concealer and mix it on my face too. So when I use my sponge to dab it in, it all mixes together to give me a lighter shade. One thing I make sure to do is drag my foundation down my chin to make it blend more and look better as a colour for my whole face. Once the foundation's all done, I then go back in with my concealer and I dab it underneath my eyes as well as on my chin and my nose and the middle of my forehead. I like quite a thick concealer, so I also use the P.Louise base in shade 2, and I take a bit on my hand and put it in the same places I've just put that Revolution concealer. I then take a sponge and I end up mixing this all in, blending it in, ensuring it's all in with the foundation and that you can see that there's no real lines to where I've concealed. Once I've blended this all in, I take my powder, the Deep Banana one by Revolution, as well as an eyeshadow from the Rose Quartz palette by Primark. I mix them together using a dry sponge. I tap this on my face where I've used the concealer. Whilst I let that powder sit, I take my bronzer and an angled brush from Primark and I start to bronze on the contours. So taking it on underneath my cheeks and up onto my forehead. I use the angled brush when I push the bronzer on, but then I use the other end to blend it all in together. I also like to define my jaw by using the bronzer in the same way as before on my face. Then taking a fluffy eyeshadow brush, I go into my bronzer and put this in the crease of my eye, working it up and along just to make it look like I've got a quick and easy eyeshadow on. Once I've applied all my bronzer, I take a little fluffy eyeshadow brush and brush the excess powder off, as well as brushing some of it into the concealer. Don't worry, once this is all done, it does look more fluid and smooth. Taking that Rose Quartz again, we're going to use this for the blusher, as I think this is a really nice pink. Taking a really fluffy brush, I put it inside into the eyeshadow, tap off the excess, and I apply it to the apples of my cheeks, dragging it upwards ever so slightly. Now to contour the nose, taking a rounder brush and my bronzer again, I start in the middle and drag it down, making sure that it goes right to the bottom of my nose as well as up to the top. Do it on both sides and then dab off the excess and massage it all in to make sure it blends properly. Next, I'm using Harrie eyelashes by TBE and Eyelure glue. I put a small dab of the glue along the eyelash line and leave them to go tacky. Next, I use the Browdrama by Maybelline to keep my brows in place. Moving on, I use the Revolution Pro Metals Highlight Palette, and I use the middle one on my nose and my lips and the first one on my cheeks. I also use the one I've used on my cheeks on my eyelids, using my finger just to give it a bit of a shine. By this point, the lashes should be ready to put on. I curl them a bit more and making sure I focus them in the middle and then making sure they're on at the edges. I leave my eye closed for a minute just to let them stick down. The eyelashes all stuck down, I take that bronzer again and use a fine brush to go underneath my eyes just to define them underneath. I think this gives it a better look and opens up my eyes some more. Moving on to lips, I use MAC lip liners and a MAC lipstick every single day. The first lip liner I use is Cork, and I use this all along the outside of my lips, blending it in slightly to the middle. I then take Spice and blend in that from where the cork line was further in along to the middle. It's slightly lighter than cork and it just gives it more of a definition. Then taking Velvet Teddy, I put this all over my lips. Lastly, I take Great Lash by Maybelline, the big one, and I put this on my lashes underneath my eyelashes to make sure they blend, as well as taking it down onto my bottom lashes. And that's it, this is the finished look. I've straightened my hair and obviously changed my top. Hope everyone's enjoyed it.